From the central coast of New South Wales, Australia, it's the #1 podcast for the X-Men animated series. This is Generation X-Men with Bender and Brooksy.
Yes, welcome to the program. Thanks very much for that intro, Steve. This is Generation X-Men. I'm Bender, and with me as always is Brooksy.
Hey, hey.
Like the name suggests, we are Generation X-Men, and you are too. If you're new to this, what we'll be doing is going through all 5 seasons of X-Men the animated series, one episode at a time, giving you our thoughts, X-quiz, some segments, and most importantly, having a laugh as well. So, Brooksy, straight out of the gate.
Captive hearts.
Captive farts. I want to give the listeners a warning up front. This is going to be a very immaturely reviewed or our thoughts on the episode, because straight up, I really couldn't take this one seriously.
Not a fan of this one.
Not a fan of this one. I mean, as a kid watching it, it wasn't a favourite of mine, and as an adult rewatching it, my review stays the same.
Hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, and I think I know why, which is what I'll break it down, my thoughts on why this episode is so critically panned, but I'll do that at the end of the episode so we don't sort of spoil anything. So just for everyone to know, this is the Morlock episode.
Morlock.
What are Morlocks? Morlocks are the Warcraft 3 thing. So this is the Morlock episode. And the Morlocks, they're the ugly mutants. They live in the sewers, and they're basically the equivalent of just the really filthy, nasty dark side of the X-Men that just... They belong underground too. That's what I want to straight up. These mutants are so foul, so disgusting, so off-putting, they make my skin crawl. I'm uncomfortable the whole time. They rub me the wrong way. They give me the heebie-jeebies.
You don't want them anywhere near you.
Don't want them anywhere. Keep them underground, under concrete. I don't want to see them ever again. And this is just such a creepy episode. And it's affected everybody. It wasn't just the Morlocks. I've got to try and remember to say that. Morlocks.
That's it.
Because, that's just... I've got to say, this is really... I was struggling watching this one, Brooks. But anyway, we'll kick it off with some... it's time for X-Quiz.
Pop quiz, Hotshot.
Pop quiz! Pop quiz, asshole.
Time for a surprise quiz.
Won't be a pop quiz on Wednesday. There's a pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Now, I wasn't as vigilant as I needed to be because I didn't watch this episode before we watched it tonight. Normally, Brooksy and myself watch the episode during the week, and then we watch it multiple times just to pick up everything. I didn't watch it during the week because I wanted the experience to be fresh for me, just so I could say whatever popped into my head, into my notes, and I was blown away by it. So I've only got a little bit of X quiz for everybody. So do you want to go first this time, or will we change it up and I'll go first?
I'll go first because I've got more.
Okay.
But I will let you know straight away that these are the easiest questions I've ever had. So if you don't get all of these...
I'm still going to mess them up.
All right. So the first question. What were Jean and Cyclops watching at the theatre?
Yeah, this is an easy one.
Yes.
It was Phantom of the Opera.
Correct.
See, I remember that because Bruce Wayne was watching The Mask of Zorro and his parents were killed. So
okay.
I think, and then was it in Ninja Turtles, Raphael's watching Critters or something.
Yep.
You always pay attention to what they're watching in the cinemas. So, that was a bit of an easier one because it was... Anytime there's signs, I think where our eyes are just looking straight at them. So we got to be heaps careful. But anyway... Here's my X quiz. What eye does Callisto's eye patch cover?
Her right eye.
That is correct. And again, really simple one. Because anyone who's paying attention, she has a scar over her left eye and a patch over the right. So, yeah.
Okay, what fruit does Leech steal from the street vendor?
I think that they were bigger fruits, circular shaped. It's definitely not a banana. I'd say he stole an apple and a mango.
Oh, I think it's an apple and an orange.
Oh, okay. Well, simple enough.
Yeah, 50-50.
Definitely wasn't a pineapple.
No.
What colour is Leech?
No, I'm kidding. Green.
Sorry, gang. There's not a lot of X quiz to be had.
All right. This is the toughest one I've got.
Oh, okay.
So after they leave the theatre, they're walking down the street, and behind them on the newsstand, you can see 2 other people that we've seen in the series. So they've been in the news.
All right.
So who are those 2 people that you see?
Oh God, I wasn't paying attention to that at all. Was it in a newspaper or something?
Yeah, it
was
looks like that's what it's supposed to be. It's only sort of, put up there.
Well, I will say that I'll go back in the past episodes of the mutants or X-Men that got media coverage were Beast and Magneto, so I'm going to say Beast and Magneto.
Well, you're half right again. It was Magneto and then a Sentinel.
A Sentinel. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember looking at that in the. I was watching that.
Yeah.
I should have got that because I kept noticing red and purple.
Yeah.
And I think even Jean's hair was red and her dress was purplish. So I should have got that one, but yeah.
They sort of hover on it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We should talk about that. Even in our thumbnails, it's so much red and purple in the previews because that seems to be the color when I think of X-Men, especially these first couple episodes.
Yep. Last question I've got is, what color are Cyclops' eyes?
They're... Oh.
Ooh, made him think. Hang on.
I was paying attention to Storm's eyes because I think they were blue.
Yes.
Which I thought was a bit,
Also
bit
Wolverine and Jean.
odd. Okay. Oh, for variety's sake, I will say that his eyes are brown or hazel.
Correct.
Excellent. Well, hang on. I got one more question. I don't know if I said 2 or 3, but I got one more X quiz for you. Where do Jean and Cyclops go to look for Wolverine when they try and thank him at the end of the episode?
They go to his room.
Go to his room.
Yeah. That's where he was training at the start.
Oh, he's training. Oh, I had it written as he was at the gym because there was like gym equipment there.
I think he's got gym equipment in his room.
Okay.
Because also he had the picture that he ripped apart.
Oh, okay.
And he was laying on his bed when he had the picture.
Okay, so he's got a built-in gym into his room.
He's Wolverine. Look at him.
He's a lifter.
Of course he is.
I thought I had you there, but you reasoned me out of deducting your points.
Well, today we are doing Season 1, Episode 5, Captive Hearts.
Okay.
The original air date for this one was January 30, 1993. So we're 1 week ahead now. So we're back to the Saturday morning cartoon.
All right.
And this one was written by Robert Skur and Marty Eisenberg. It was also directed by Larry Houston, as they all are.
On you, Larry.
Previously on X-Men.
We have the X-Men attacking Sentinels. Beast gets knocked into the electric fence again. That's like the 4th time we've seen that.
Can't get enough of that, though. It's pretty funny.
Jubilee knocks Sabretooth out of the mansion. Storm shooting lightning at Magneto. Rogue with Cyclops' powers. Magneto knocks the professor out of his chair. And Sabretooth and Wolverine's fight.
I'm popping on that bit because when I was editing it, that was so funny to watch him get knocked out of his chair. No! That's mean. I'm sorry. Sorry to any Professor X fans that took a But yeah, it was a pretty rapid fire previously on X-Men. The structure of these previously on X-Men, they don't really tell us what's been happening. They just show us what has been. Well, they're not false advertising.
No.
They're not technically not wrong because they have been showing us previously what has been happening. But I would have thought they could have structured it in more of a way that would be more like a trailer or something. Have tell the story just through the lines of the characters' dialogue. I think they did that previously with having Senator Kelly say, "I'm running for president," and Mutant Registration Act, blah, 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 blah. But this one just seems to be just all the best bits, all the highlights of the action.
And because this one's also starting a new storyline as well.
Ah, yes.
So it's a big recap.
Yeah, it's a broader recap rather than, that's a solid point, eh? It wouldn't need to go into all the specific details like that. But yeah, this was just a refresher of what's happened through the series so far. And nothing to add at the moment. It's on to the breakdown now.
Breakdown.
Where is she?
So we start off with a sliding shot of all the X-Men in the danger room.
A really cool shot, by the
Yes.
way. That is the diamond in the rough in this episode. It starts off very strong.
So we've got Storm, Rogue, Gambit, Jubilee, and Jean Grey.
Nearly the full roster this time,
Yes.
Brooks.
No Cyclops, though.
No.
So they're training without their leader.
That's right. That comes into play later.
So then Rogue says, "Watch your back, swamp rat," as the tentacles come flying out of the wall.
The tentacles, I wanted to talk about the tentacles. To me, those tentacles and tubes, they're reoccurring weapons to be used to subdue the X-Men. The Sentinels' go-to weapon and Omega Red. What I want to say about the tubes and the tentacles, they're so perverse to me.
Yeah?
They're so really, like, get under your skin. They coil around and all touchy and really animated in this really sick, slithering snake sort of way. I really hate them. And
It's really got you offside this episode, didn't it?
It starts off strong in a bad way. It really leaves a bad taste in your mouth from the beginning because anytime those tubes come up, the tentacles, they're so perverse and like, ugh. They blast the shit out of them.
Then Jean comes up with, "You're tangling with the wrong X-Men." And then she almost gets hit with like a circular saw blade comes flying at her.
Yeah. And she does a bit of a Jean orgasm there.
She does. Get another one.
She was a real big one. She loves to make those noises. But I had to put that in there because it was so noteworthy.
Professor X comes on the intercom and tells them this is what the X-Men could encounter in the field. Mm-hmm. And then he turns on the laser guns to shoot him.
He's driving the danger room this time. Normally it's a sort of an unseen sort of guy. They just set it to level medium. But Professor X is dictating what obstacles are coming this way. So this is him taking more of a lead on how to train his X-Men.
And he has to bring up, remember what happened to Morph.
Yes.
He died.
Yes, that's just to remind the audience as well.
Yes. Remind everyone, Morph is dead.
He's definitely dead. He's definitely not coming back.
No. And then we get to see Jean using like a force field for the first time.
All right, yeah.
So we see a lot of Jean's powers in this one that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, because we haven't had a taste of anything Jean. We know that she's used Cerebro and that's about it. We don't get to see a lot of her powers, but this time, this is more of an introductory to her as well.
So it's at this point that Storm sort of starts taking control, and she flies up and freezes some of the guns, and she tells Rogue to take out the other ones.
Yeah, starts giving out the orders.
Gambit to take out the targeting cameras.
Mm-hmm. And then Jubilee takes one of those out. And you're not Gambit.
No.
So this is cool to see how Storm as a 2IC, and just sort of she leads the group whenever Sykes away.
Then the professor changes the room to make all the walls start closing in.
That was something that was hinted at in the previous episode.
Yeah,
with her being afraid of that brick wall. And now we're really delving into Storm's phobia.
And so she orders the rest of the team to try and hold the walls back. Mm-hmm. And Storm tries to hold down tied up the ceiling.
Yeah, should have stuck a skull in the gear, Temple of Doom style.
She didn't have one handy. That's the problem.
So, yeah, Rogue goes right up to the door, so I noticed you hit the shoulder with it, and then Storm's up top. Yeah, carry on. And,
and Storm just has a breakdown, and she starts to reminisce again of what happened in her childhood, except this time she has red hair.
I don't want to bring up any of the sort of animation goofs or anything like that. I understand that there's been a few of them, but, we don't want to delve too deeply into that.
But that one's pretty obvious, that one.
It's a pretty big one. So it's like, who's she reminiscing about? That's definitely not her.
You didn't need to pause anything to see that one. What is going on here? There's too much red and purple in this episode. Okay. Pretty sure she had a purple dress on too.
Oh, okay. Maybe we run out of textures when they're colouring it in. I also wrote down here, huge Storm orgasm.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a long one, her screaming, gasping voice. I'll have to play it in full when I do the edit. It was a big one.
Yeah, so she just turns on the twister.
Yeah.
And she's knocking everyone everywhere else.
Yeah, when they get their back against the wall, that's when they lose control of their powers, and that's when they endanger the other mutants, I've sort of noticed there.
Right.
But that was pretty neat there.
So, yeah, she just passes out then from using too much of her powers. And Rogue says, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And she says, "You must be just saving your good moves for next time." Like, what?
I so can't help but make parallels to everything Rogue says being sexual. It was like she just went out too soon, and Rogue's being the supportive girlfriend. Don't worry, you're just saving your best moves for next time with a pat on the back. I was like, I don't know if it was written that way, but that's just where my mind goes because I'm a grub.
Because it's Rogue.
Because I'm a filthy Morlock as well.
So then Professor X projects himself into the danger room.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
And Storm comes to say that a claustrophobia is too much of a risk to lead the team.
A very sort of humble leader, and generally a pretty good quality to have. Usually the best leaders are the ones that don't want to lead.
So the only other X-Men that wasn't in the danger room was Wolverine.
Yes.
Who we find shirtless in his room, still with the bandages on his chest. He's doing some sort of martial arts with half a gi on.
You want to do karate in the garage? Karate action Wolverine. I think he was in that uniform just to sell some action figures, I think. I did not buy that one.
So Jean comes in and says that he should be resting, and even he can't heal that fast.
Yeah, for a mutant with a strong healing factor, he heals pretty slow.
Wolverine's got a good line of, "Don't bet on it, Red." And then he just doubles over in pain.
Yeah, he does something. He goes, learn not to let my guard down. Then you hear, what did he do? Breathe too hard?
Well, it's not like he broke a rib or anything. He can't do that.
You think when he's doing all his kicking and stuff, it could have been a feign just to get a bit of sympathy.
There you go.
That's what
he's thinking.
He knows what's up. He knows what's up. He said, my rib, come give me a cuddle.
So Jean runs over to him and
gets
whispers,
in real close.
Yeah, and he whispers, "Jean."
Jean.
I've gotta go. Cyclops is waiting for me.
So am I.
What does that even mean?
Wait
for you to what?
I was still getting over her referring to Scott as Cyclops. Wouldn't you just call him Scott?
Scott's waiting for me. Scott who? Cyclops. Oh, dickhead. Well,
you're still freaked out by them Morlocks.
But anyway, with Wolverine, he goes, all he has to say is Jean, and she's like stuttering. I gotta go. Cyclops is waiting for me. It feels as though there's already something under the surface there, because if he's straight up just hitting on her for the first couple of times,
right,
she wouldn't be so hesitant. So I think that's the way Jean plays it, or the actress played it. Could have been hinting at a way that maybe they've already hooked up or something,
okay,
and they're not going to show us that because this is a show for children. And I felt there's a lot of mature sort of themes running through this episode, especially with the old boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic going on. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, just rewatching it this time.
So then we cut to Jean and Cyclops leaving Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And of course, that's clearly a connection to the Morlocks because they're hidden.
Oh, okay. I didn't make that parallel. Yeah. I was too busy thinking, were they watching a movie or they at the theater watching a musical?
But the Phantom of the Opera movie didn't come out till like 2000 and something. So. Yeah.
Oh no, there was a Robert Englund movie called Phantom of the Opera.
Was it? When was that?
It's buggered if I know, 80s or something. But surely there's been like black and white silent films called Phantom of the Opera, not just the Gerard Butler musical. But I was always wondering, do they go to a stage show or do they watch a movie?
Yeah, I just picked it was the theatre that they were going to watch a show.
Okay, that's interesting. Not a very great date. Let's go watch a musical. A depressing one where the villain kills everybody. That'll get her in the mood.
So they're walking down the street, and Cyclops is not wearing his usual ruby glasses.
Oh, what's he wearing?
His ones are like grey. You didn't notice that?
Oh, yeah, he's wearing grey glasses.
Yeah.
Okay. That must be his nighttime glasses.
And he's just saying how he never wants to let the professor down.
Yeah.
He's not even thinking about Jean. She should have stayed with Wolverine.
Yeah, his mind was absent.
That's right.
Earth to Cyclops. Huh? What? No, nothing. No one. I want to know. No one called him out for being a douche for wearing the sunglasses at night. Hey, douchebag! Those are sunglasses. Where's that Jack Nicholson though? Where is he?
We can't have him in every episode.
I don't think he appears ever again, which is unfortunate.
So then we see your first Morlock. See Leech. He appears from the shadows.
Yeah, being a creep.
And he floats some fruit over from one of the street stalls.
He could have just grabbed him.
And then the owner starts to yell at him. Hey, it's one of those mutants. Somebody grab him.
Yeah, somebody grab him. I wrote down here, what did I write? Let go of my fruit. Let go of my fruit.
Let go of my fruit!
Oy, oy, oy.
Then a group of humans surround him, and so then he parts them with his powers.
Oh, yes.
And then he runs down to the subway.
Mm.
And Jean and Cyclops feel they need to help him, so they run after him.
Mm-hmm.
When they get into the subway station, we see Tar Baby.
Oh, that can't be the real character's name. Tar Baby. It's not a child. He's just a weird, creepy overall wearing gack man. That's what I call him. Filthy, inky. Ugh. Okay, ugh.
So anyway, that Tar Baby blocks off the exits.
That's what you say when someone's giving you something. Tar Baby.
And then, they shoot tar at a bunch of the humans.
Yeah, taste it. I remember there was a wall of tar to seal him in there, and that was really off-putting as a kid. That was just disgusting.
And so Jean and Cyclops come, and there's already tar over the wall. So Jean has to use her powers, and this time it's coming out of her forehead.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time we see that.
Bit of forehead.
Yep.
Forehead telekinesis.
And she opens a hole for her and Cyclops to come through.
Mm.
Another of the Morlocks comes in, Erg. He removes his pirate patch and starts shooting at the humans. So he's got like a laser ability in his one eye that's covered with an eye patch.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, like, not as strong Cyclops.
At least he can see out of one eye.
Yes, that's handy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cyclops then realizes that the Morlocks are mutants.
Yeah.
And they are harming the humans. So they should probably protect the humans.
So that's good X-Menning.
Yeah, so he's just changed straight away. And then your mate Tar Baby throws two of the humans onto the tracks.
Yeah, with tar.
With so much tar. And Jean is able to levitate them above the train.
Yeah, as the train's coming
Because they just go, oh no, the train's coming. They must be stuck to the tracks, so you would just get out of the way.
A sticky, tenacious tar.
And then you see the big bald guy, Sunder.
His name's Sunder, is it?
Sunder.
So he's tore him asunder.
So he just rips off a block of concrete and tries to hit Cyclops with it. And then Cyclops blasts him along the platform.
Right.
And then Cyclops is worried that without his visor, he can't control his beams.
Yeah.
Which is what I was saying the last episode.
Yeah.
Or the episode before. Yeah, that's how I always remembered it. That when he had the visor on, he could do the blast just to knock someone down or something, or he could shoot straight through something.
He's got the set to stun option on his visor, whereas this is just full strength always, and that's what wows the Morlocks, right?
Yeah,
sends him all the way across and through some concrete, and they're like, ooh.
Knocks him through a few poles and then into the wall.
Yeah. Oftentimes, a mutant heel gang will have the big strong dummy that's not very good at doing anything, but it's just around to get beaten up on by the whole team of the X-Men, and Sunder's no different, unfortunately.
And then we see, I think this is your favourite Morlock, Annalee.
Oh, bloody Annalee.
Old Annalee.
The old lady Annalee. If anyone's watched the episode, this is the hypnotist sort of character, or power of persuasion sort of character.
Yes, power of persuasion.
It's old, creepy old lady wearing like a kitchen bib and a handkerchief around her head.
She's got a yellow scarf.
Yellow scarf and glasses, and then she comes on with the big lines.
Sleep. I need to sleep. Must sleep.
Empathic manipulation.
Manipulation.
Yeah, she appears around the corner and uses her powers to put all the humans and the X-Men to sleep.
Sleep. And you need to sleep. And as they're going out, you can hear them. It's so quiet. And it's like a wide shot. She's putting the hex on them. And as they're dropping down, they go, I need to sleep. I need to sleep. So creepy. So eerie. So off-putting. I hate Annalee. # hate Annalee.
So then Sunder takes Jean and Cyclops with them along the train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut back to Wolverine in the mansion.
Oh, yes.
And he's laying on his bed with the photo.
One of the most iconic shots, unintentionally iconic shots of the X-Men animated series, because it rose to meme popularity. It's Wolverine looking at the photo frame and then
Jean and Cyclops.
So what people have done, because Wolverine's looking at it very longingly, very lovingly or yearningly, And what people do, they cut out something else and put something like a hot dog in there that he's looking at a hot
Or Hugh
dog.
Jackman.
Or Hugh Jackman and patting him on the head. But yeah, that's a funny. That's where that's from. So if anyone wants to know where that image is from.
So then Gambit and Rogue are outside walking along the hallway.
Yeah.
And they're in their bathing suits. Hey?
Yeah, they are. I mean,
And they don't seem to mind that I'd
the
assume
doors
that
are open.
Jean and Cyclops didn't come home last night.
Oh yeah, that'd
Because it
be
seems
night
to be like
swimming.
the next day.
Yeah, they probably think, they probably just got a motel to do grown-up stuff, jumping on the bed.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah, but yeah, they're parading around. I think, Gambit's in his Speedo, or is he in board shorts?
Oh, he's in boardies.
Okay, he's playing it a bit more subtle.
And Rogue's got the one piece
Got
on.
the one piece on, but her hair's still zhuzhed up. And walking by all these open doors, I tell you, if this was a school and a lot of kids walking by, that's totally inappropriate behaviour from some of the lecturers. But yeah, I wrote down a note, Wolverine a creep. Because I think the Morlock creepiness is creeping into the X-Men at this point. It's like, why does he have a framed photo? Did he just pinch it from their room?
I think he did.
That's just...
Definitely.
Don't be creeping, Wolverine. That's so bad. But yeah.
So he ends up drawing one of his claws out and he cuts into the picture.
Yeah, we're not counting that as claw draws.
No, the one claws were not counted.
Nah, not for general opening cans or just scratching photos for some reason.
So then we cut back to Cyclops and he's woken up in the Morlocks hideout.
Mm-hmm.
And Leech is there.
Leech is watching him. His mate's with him. So thanks for saving us type deal.
Thanks for helping him on the surface. And Cyclops doesn't have his glasses on. And then Leech explains, you help Leech. Leech help you. You see better now for a while.
I don't see how Leech helped him there.
Well, Leech's powers is to leech other mutants' powers. So that makes more sense to me than later on when bloody Cyclops is like, oh, I need the sun to charge myself.
Yeah, I'm wondering why that wasn't a thing. And in this episode there, Leech has got telekinesis.
Yeah.
And it's not very in fitting with his name being a leech.
Or anything else, not the comics. Or anything else.
But yeah, I don't know why they didn't explore that or explain that. But yeah, this is the first I've heard of Cyclops being solar powered, kind of like Superman. But hey, I'm sure they changed it for a reason.
So then Sunder comes in and he picks Cyclops up.
Big bloody
but
Sunder.
It seemed to me that he was actually tied to the bed in multiple locations.
In the next shot, I thought he was going to pick Cyclops up and he's going to be
With the
still
bed?
in the bed.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
And a real show of strength, but no.
No, he just picks him up and he takes him along the corridor and just throws him into the middle of the room, right in front of Callisto.
Yeah, enter Callisto.
Callisto is the leader.
It's the leader of the Morlocks.
The Morlocks.
And a creep.
Yeah.
Because she creeps on him so hard.
Then Callisto explains who they are and that they are outcasts with mutations too deformed to pass as humans.
Exactly,
so that's why they live.
Keep them underground.
They can't live on the surface world.
So bloody Senator Kelly and the Gyric should be looking at these ones. Send the Sentinels underground and wipe all these
They're too
creeps.
big.
Get Nimrod in there or whatever, tear up. They're trying to kill all the sexy X-Men. Keep them alive, the sexy mutants. Keep them alive and wipe out all these hideously ugly Morlocks. They don't belong here.
So Callisto also explains that she's seen Cyclops on TV and she wants him to rule beside her.
Oh, jeez, this made me so uncomfortable. It made me so uncomfortable.
And then she just clicks her fingers and turns on a bunch of TV sets.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just seem to be showing Night of the Sentinels Part 2.
What's on? Oh, Night of the Sentinels. Damn, it's always on.
See, that's the only video she had.
Oh,
Cyclops, I love you.
She's got him on IQ. Well, it makes sense. This sort of really creepy love story. It's just, this kidnapping sort of angle is really odd.
So she also explains here that she sent Leech to the surface to get into trouble. So it was more of a trap to trap Cyclops.
Oh, okay.
So because she knew that he was going to come and save Leech.
Well, she's definitely rolling the dice that that'll be Cyclops and Jean walking by that theatre that time of the night. Will they just have Leech posted up there every day until Cyclops walks by?
She's been stalking him hardcore, right?
She'd been cyber stalking before there was internet.
That's right. So then Cyclops' reply that is, right, where's Jean? And then old Callisto, she says, when you agree to stay. And she starts stroking his face.
The face stroke.
Oh, you loved that.
Oh, I don't feel clean. Get out of there, Cyclops.
Cyclops says he isn't interested, and Callisto says that wasn't a request.
Well, you can't blame him. Jean is a smoke show in her own right, and Callisto's just a filthy silver queen. So,
and this is when he brings up the idea that sunlight fuels his power, so he would be useless to them in the sewers, which just raises too many questions. Why don't they just stay with the leech thing?
Yeah.
There is too many questions. So how much sunlight? Does it need to be out there all day?
Like a calculator.
Is he more effective in summer? Can he charge up like a battery?
Imagine.
We've already seen him fight the Sentinels at night. So how did that happen?
Yeah. I think your idea of charging like a battery and being solar powered, I'd buy that. I mean, but then you'd have to have a gauge on his arm, like, oh, she's nearly empty.
Yeah.
Better go to a tanning salon real quick or something.
Yeah, they should have just left it with Leech taking his powers.
Yeah,
that seemed a lot better.
Too many questions.
Like they pretty much covered that in dialogue, and then they changed it.
Yeah.
So
there's got to be some reason.
So Callisto's response to this is she isn't looking for a protector. She's looking for a companion. Someone to provide her an heir.
Oh, man, another one.
Someone to provide me an heir.
So take out an ad.
She's hitting all the wrong home runs here to creeping Bender out bingo. It's just tick, 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 and I was just off put.
So Cyclops says, so take out an ad.
Yay!
Where's Jean? And it's at that point that actually shows she's chained up to the roof in the middle of the room. Like, he wasn't looking around too well.
But I should bring up that Cyclops finally got a nice rebuttal for once. Normally it's Wolverine who gets all those cool lines, but he said, so what was the one? So take out an ad?
Yep.
That's a good one. I like that.
So then Callisto's a bit trigger happy here and just assumes Cyclops is refusing and just orders the Morlocks to destroy Jean. So he's refusing me, destroy her. And then Jean's just like, yeah, forget it, lady. Scott's my date.
Yeah, that's when Jean fires up, starts cleaning house.
And she's got all that blue power.
Yeah.
And she breaks all her restraints and her blindfold.
Yeah.
And then just starts shooting all the beams just at everyone.
Then she calls for some cavalry, right?
Yep. She manages to psychically link with the professor to alert him to the fact that they have been captured.
Luckily, he wasn't busy doing something.
But then they cut straight back and something's happened because Jean's now unconscious on the floor.
Yeah, someone must have got it with a cheap shot.
Yeah. But they cut that part out. But they kept the bloody solar-powered Cyclops in. Cyclops tries to go to her aid, but then Sunder just grabs him and just hurls him straight into a wall. This is Sunder's go-to move.
Yeah. It's a bit of payback because after he got blasted by Cyclops.
Because, yeah, he's got the superhuman strength, stamina, and durability. So, yeah, that's what he does. Just throw people at the wall.
Throw people at the wall.
So Callisto isn't happy that Sunder's treatment of Cyclops. Stop it, you idiot. I need him alive. So she's just told him, we need you alive. And so we're going to cut to a commercial break. So he picks up Cyclops and just hurls him straight down into the floor again.
Well, it's not going to kill him.
Oh.
Discipline in the ranks isn't very strong in the ugly Morlock leagues.
So we come back from the ad break and we come back to the X-Men in the war room. And Professor X has pinpointed their location.
Yeah.
So how has he done that? Has he low-jacked the X-Men?
Low-jacked them like a chip in their hand or something.
Welcome to the X-Men. Oh, what was that? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Look that way for a sec. Bam, something in the neck. Ow, what was that?
He can just wipe it from their mind anyway.
Yeah. He's low-jacked everybody. Why don't you just shove a leash up my ass?
So then from here, we get our first X-wipe. And then it wipes to the train station.
Yeah, that should be a first. That's the first time we've seen a fancy X-wipe. It's better than Star Wipes. X-wipe.
And Rogue and Gambit are a bit worried for Storm because they're going into enclosed spaces. But Wolverine just says, can it, Cajun? It's her call.
Oh, and this is when we see the creepy 2D lady spying on them. So
as they head along the tracks, they're being watched by Tommy.
Her name's Tommy?
Yes. So she has the ability to turn two-dimensional.
What a two-dimensional character.
Yes. So Gambit says,
Scott and Jean pick one strange romantic hideaway, no?
Shut up. I'm getting a scent.
That's right. Wolverine straight away. Shut up.
Shut up. That's pretty grown-up language for a cartoon. I don't think even Batman or any of those characters said that.
So then Thunder tries to grab Jean, but she throws him over his shoulder. And then she has a line of, roaches grow big down here.
That was Rogue, was
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Then your mate Tar Baby, she comes over and
Is that a she?
I don't know.
It.
Yeah, it.
Filthy Tar
We're gonna
Baby.
go with it. It's got a weird voice. Yeah, you can't assume people's gender anymore, Bender. It's got a weird voice, eh? So
Yeah.
it's a Tar Baby. Tar Baby sticks Wolverine and Gambit to the wall. And Gambit's got the sticky situation, mon ami. And then Wolverine, not for long. Bang, first claw draw.
Oh, right, claw draw.
The X-Men then chase the Morlocks through the tunnels, and Storm starts to struggle with the enclosed spaces.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
They come across a door, and Storm uses her lightning to blast the hinges off it. So
Yeah.
she's overcome her little worry at the moment.
A little bout.
And then it comes crashing down, and inside we see your mate Annalee again, and Jean. And Annalee's convinced her
Oh
that
my
she's her
God.
daughter.
Oh, my God, this bit. Mummy, who are these bad people? Ay, ay, ay.
And Annalee just keeps saying, leave me and my daughter alone.
Oh, fucking hate that bit. I hate everything Annalise about.
And Wolverine just says, lady, you picked the wrong girl to adopt.
She could have just sent Jean to attack him. Why'd you have to go weird psycho kidnap victim like that on me?
Mommy? Who are these bad people?
Leave me alone with my daughter.
Make them go away. Please, Mommy.
Ah, so off-putting.
She just wants a daughter.
Just wants to be a creep.
And then Annalee makes Wolverine believe that he is covered in scorpions.
Covered in
man.
scorpions.
Oh no, I'm covered in scorpions.
Covered in scorpions. Get them off me.
What are you doing to my head?
No! Covered with scorpions. Covered with scorpions.
No! Covered with scorpions! Get them off me! What are you doing to my head?
Is Wolverine afraid of scorpions, or she just picked a random insect to be?
Nobody likes scorpions.
Well, I can't imagine. Wolverine's a tough guy. He probably eats scorpions, but why would he be so afraid of them? So that could be telling maybe she, I don't know, truly makes him believe that being covered in scorpions is the worst thing ever.
His reaction to this is even better. He just claw draw and then bang, tries to stab her in the face.
Oh, man. Gets results.
Yeah, she just leaves the room straight away, and then all of a sudden Wolverine and Jean just come back to normal.
Yeah. So I think she's snapped out of it, and she can't focus her powers of whatever they were. Hypnosis. There's a fancy word to it.
She has the powers of even now I can't say it.
Just read it, bro.
Empathic manipulation.
Empathic manipulation. Being a creep.
Being a Morlock. So Jean just asks, where's Cyclops? And then Callisto appears in the doorway and says, it's too late, X-Men. No one can help him now, as he's laying unconscious at her feet.
Bit of a misdirect.
So Callisto says that Cyclops was a great warrior, and the Morlocks will provide the X-Men safe passage back to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wolverine says, great warrior, eh? How about we take him back in pieces?
So people think, oh, Wolverine's tripping.
So bang, there's another claw draw, and he stabs both his claws either side of Cyclops' head.
And it was a big fake out because it was a shapeshifter.
Yes, it was Ape, the shapeshifter.
Ape the shapeshifter.
And he's got an awesome scream as he's getting...
Yeah, you can't fool a Wolverine as a tracker with the nose. Best nose in the game, baby.
So he says, Psych has his problems, but he don't smell like a Morlock. Then Callisto says, fools, you can't fight us here. and then a fight breaks out.
We get the rev up music, and this felt like a really, I don't know, forced sort of fight to me, just to have a bit of action in this episode, because primarily it's this creeping, walking around episode, and then we have a bit of an action scene and a mud in the eyes from Tar Baby, who's a man. Looked it up.
There you go.
He's
It is a man.
He's definitely a man. Then we
Got
get
a weird voice though.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of weird voices in there. There's a lot of weird voices, but we get all the sort of generic sort of action. Rogue hops on that big fella's back. Was his name Sunder?
Yes.
And then he's fighting her with a steel beam or something. And
Yeah, he's got a
punches him
girder
up.
trying to hit her. And then 8 makes a big hole in his body and Rogue comes flying through it. Tar Baby covers Storm in tar, but she's able to blast straight out of it.
Yeah, he gives her in a little tar ball, like a pizza pocket, and he just breaks out.
Of course, Gambit's just throwing his cards around.
But then he gets intercepted by the Plague Lady.
Yes.
The filthy, filthy Plague Lady just touches him on the back. He says, stand back,
Stay
old
back,
woman.
old woman.
You're going to get hurt. And it's like, I'm feeling fine, dearie. But you don't look so good. What's wrong? Got a touch of the plague.
I'm feeling fine, dearie. But you don't look so good. What's wrong? Got a touch of the plague?
And I wrote down here, Gambit orgasm. Because he starts moaning and groaning like he's going for one. And she's all touching on him and being weird. And then I think Rogue comes.
Storm screams out,
yeah.
"Get her off him!"
And then
Storm just flies by and punches her straight in the face.
no, it was
Bang.
Rogue. It was
Oh,
Rogue.
Rogue, sorry.
Rogue comes in flying and hits with that classic punch sound effect. And sends the bitch flying.
The fever.
That old gal got you bad. Storm!
This is a super strength punch. You could have just tapped her. But no.
She's hurting Gambit.
I know. That's what I like about Rogue. Should have broke that. Do we know Plague Lady's name?
Plague.
Plague. Oh, good. Oh, how fitting.
There you go.
I think she pops up in later episodes too. We'll have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
She's like one of them.
So yeah, Rogue flies Gambit back to the mansion then at Storm's request.
An immediate evac.
Yeah. And Wolverine's chasing off after Callisto because he got into a fight with Callisto.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, lady, you can do better than..." Bang! She kicks him right in the chest.
Yeah, he's carving up a staff.
That's more like it. Yeah, he's cutting a staff, but he doesn't cut through it.
Yeah.
That was a bit weird.
It's reinforced.
And then, yeah, she runs off down the tunnel, and he's like, "Oh, I love it when they play hard to get." So he's chasing her down the tunnels. He's like, "Run all you like, lady. I like to hunt." But then he comes across a door, and he smells Cyclops' inside. So he does another claw draw here, and he cuts the door off.
Yeah, he does.
And he walks in and says, "I can make a couple of women real sad right now. But if there's one thing I can't stand, it's seeing Jean cry."
Gets her up on the shoulder.
Yeah, so he picks up
Gets
Cyclops.
him up on the shoulder, sorry.
And leaves. But Callisto, Annalie, and Tommy overhear what he said. And Callisto says to Annalie, "So he loves the woman. You know what to do."
These X-Men should stop speaking out loud. Just do your job. Stop expositioning.
And we cut back to Storm and Jean. She asks Jean to contact Wolverine telepathically.
Yeah.
But then Wolverine just walks around the corner.
Don't bother.
Don't bother. Let's blow those slugs off and let's bust out of this puke hole.
What a priceless line.
Oh, that was a great line.
Puke hole.
Annalie appears and causes Storm to have another claustrophobic attack.
So close, so tight.
And then she makes Wolverine angry at Cyclops for keeping him away from Jean.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then he has another claw draw.
You keeping me from what's mine.
Wolverine!
So Jean uses her powers to slow Wolverine.
Yeah, Jean's got a cool little fire telekinesis. That means she's
It's all
pissed
blue,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, blue fire.
That's cool. And then she uses it to stop Annalie.
Yeah.
But then that gives Callisto time to take possession back of Cyclops. And again, she orders the Morlocks to kill the X-Men one at a time if they try to attack again.
Yeah.
Until the leader agrees to her terms, which is Storm.
Yeah.
So then Storm decides she's going to challenge Callisto for a fight for Cyclops and leadership of the Morlocks.
Nice. Playing by the tribe rules. That's her stepping up as the 2IC.
So then Callisto warns Storm not to use her powers in any way and challenges to somewhat of a lightsaber battle.
I'll say it's a lightsaber battle.
And it
But,
was
they're not laser swords. They're like glowing batons.
yeah, it was very similar to Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah, the double-ended ones.
Do you think George Lucas watched this, much like Bryan Singer watched it for his X-Men movies?
I strongly doubt it. I'm sure the double-ended lightsaber's been in Star Wars fan fiction since, I don't know, since Return of the Jedi when they started getting on a more complex choreography. I'm sure in the writers of the novels and stuff have said, oh, well, if we stuck two of them together. But
they originally look like swords. But
yeah.
Then when she throws it and then they start fighting, they turn to sticks.
Yeah.
But they can still hold the lightsaber end.
It's just a gimmicky sort of thing.
Yeah, so Storm gets hit and Cyclops is like, has the surface life made you soft? And then Storm gets back at her, knocks her to the ground and wins the fight. And she says, "You have lost, but you will not die. Killing is not the X-Men's way."
Of course it isn't.
She then offers all the Morlocks safe haven in the mansion and says they don't have to live down here anymore. Should she have checked with the professor before she asked that?
I was just going to bring that up. Well, if Professor X wasn't cool with it, what are you bringing all these stinky underground mutants into my nice mansion for?
If he's anything like you, he's going to say no.
Oh, yeah. I'm very discriminating against this particular band of mutants. I'm with the Friends of Humanity when it comes to these guys. Give me a Sentinel and send them down in there.
But the Morlocks still believe that they belong underground, and when the humans accept mutant kind, then they will come to the surface. So then Storm says, yeah, as soon as that happens, I'll be back.
Yeah, not bloody luck.
And then she says, but Callisto, you can rule until I come back.
Yeah, so nothing's really changed. They just got Cyclops back.
So yeah, Cyclops just wakes up now, and he says to Jean, have I missed anything?
Yeah.
And then she says, I never dreamed you'd have such beautiful eyes.
And they pash off.
Yeah, they pash off, and then Wolverine's not happy, so he gets out of there.
Yeah, Cyclops just a dweeb.
So we come back to the mansion where we see Gambit is recuperating from the plague.
Out of his jacket.
Yes, the first shot of him.
I don't like it.
Just in his armor, but without the jacket.
Gambit out of his jacket is like a turtle out of its shell. It's not meant to be seen. It's such a wacky uniform. Quick, put the jacket back on.
There's too much pink.
There's too much pink going on.
The professor says, I take it your date was sufficiently memorable?
No.
And Cyclops is like, yeah, now we need a holiday. Jean has told the professor that Storm was a good field commander.
Yeah.
And then Storm says, the entire team nearly perished. And then the professor comes back with, but they didn't. And I think I have you to thank for that. Like, what?
It's just a good pat on the back. Nice work, Storm. Keep doing you.
That was terrible. So Cyclops and Jean then go to Wolverine's room or the gym, whatever we think.
Yeah.
And but he's not in there. He's gone.
Instead, we see the picture of them
ripped up
with a rip right down the center, separating the two.
And we get a to be continued.
Oh, did it finish with a to be continued?
It did.
I wasn't paying attention.
Right in the middle of that ripped up photo, it said to be continued.
You think he would have just kept that the tear away of Jean?
Yeah, I thought he would have kept the Jean, but yeah, he wasn't happy when she kissed him.
Well, it's her boyfriend. Get your own Wolverine. Get your own girlfriend.
And that is your Morlock episode.
Yeah, that is a very uncomfortable watch, and I will continue not watching that episode. It's not in my rewatch list at all. And not a fan of that episode at all. Yeah.
So what did you think of this episode, Bender?
Well, this is where at the start of the episode I mentioned why I think this was so poorly rated, and because I'm going to break it down now. I think this is so poorly rated because it is such a departure for what I was expecting 5 episodes in. Everything else has been sort of, I don't know, will we say family friendly, but a little bit of mature themes in there. This one seemed very dark and creepy and eerie, and I don't think this is the sort of thing that kids would be tuning in to see. then a Saturday morning when they want to be uplifted and, yeah, it's time for X-Men, let's go. And now we're talking about kidnapping and heirs to the throne and creepy hypnosis ladies. What's that superpower again? I've already forgot. We can talk about it in a second once I've stopped my rant. And all like creepy 2D ladies hiding in the shadows and Gak Man or what's his name, Tar Baby, and all these sort of really off-putting mutants and creepy sort of situations. And we're underground as well. This is not a bright, happy episode. And I don't think it deserves the critical bashing that it's getting. It's just... I think this sort of story best suits a comic book or something like that because I don't think this is Saturday morning viewing. You wouldn't watch this straight after a Looney Tunes episode, and it just felt so out of place for me. And just, that's my biggest beef with this episode. It is creepy.
Well, the original story in the comics was Angel was the one that was kidnapped.
Oh, okay.
From the X-Men.
So they appropriated that because Angel's not in this series.
So, and then the Storm and Callisto fight, Storm actually they were using knives. Storm had to stab Callisto.
Whoa!
So they didn't put that in either.
Well, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, little Michael Jackson beat it. Did they tie their hands together? Someone should do a supercut of that on YouTube or something. But yeah, just characters like Anna Lee and 2D Lady. It's just Tommy and bloody
Tar Baby.
They're not bright, happy characters. But overall, I didn't like watching this one, so that's why I was sort of tuning in and out, trying to make as many jokes as I can, just to lighten it up and make it fun for me, because it was very off-putting.
I did like the idea of the Morlocks, that they're these creepy guys that live in the sewer and they got all the weird powers and that.
Yeah,
like we didn't mention Scale Face.
Is that the one that looked like a pop jelly donut? No. There's this one character in the episode is yellow face with pink smear on it. That looked like a donut to me.
I think that was supposed to be Mask.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they had Scale Face was the girl. I think it's a girl. Jumped on the back of Gambit and he threw her off. She turned into a dragon.
Ah, yeah, that's right. And then
that's her power.
Storm lit her on fire with the lightning.
Draconic transformations is her power.
That is very specific.
And there was also Glowworm. He was the green guy who has a similar power to Gambit.
Oh, okay.
So he can charge things up and throw them.
Oh, okay. Just a Gambit knockoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand the appeal of having an outcast story about the outcast, like the flip side of the coin to the X-Men. I just would have preferred to have seen it as like a brotherhood of evil mutants, kind of like the thing you see at the intro of the episode. You see the Professor X's side and then Magneto's side, and they're coming and clashing together. I don't think we got a big episode like that in coming up episodes. This could have been the chance to pull the trigger on that.
Right.
Coming off the heels of Magneto, and he's talking about he'll get mutants to side with him. Instead, we're given a Morlock episode. So, to me, I don't know, yeah. I can appreciate that it was a different change, and I think it was just to test the waters, and unfortunately, clearer heads prevailed, and we didn't get something this sort of grim and dark and slimy as an episode ever again.
So, having said that, what is your favourite part?
Oh, God, my favourite part. I think the silly quotes that I like is "let go of my fruit."
Yeah.
But of the more serious quotes, I'll say what was Wolverine's line about getting out of the puke hole or something like that?
Don't bother. Blow those slugs off and let's bust out of this puke hole.
I think for a serious line, I'd go with Wolverine's puke hole, but for a silly one, I'd go with let go of my fruit. And of my least favourite quotes is anything Annalie says. And as the Jean Grey saying, who are these bad people, Mummy? Mummy, who are these bad people? That's so it gets under my skin. That's foul.
Well, I have to say my favourite quote is, "Oh no, covered in scorpions." Because it just came out of nowhere. It was great.
Yeah, suddenly covered in scorpions. It's just a weird. It was a weird thing, and I think at that point, as a kid, you're probably terrified. But as a grown-up, says, "What is this random shit?"
And my favourite part would be straight after them when Wolverine tried to stab her in the face. Because I'm pretty sure you could relate. You wanted to do that too.
Oh yeah, I'd have stabbed her right at the start of the episode. I blasted her with my optic blast. Because yeah, she's such a creep. And I think Rogue had had a sultry line in this one too, saving your best moves for later on.
Yep.
During the danger, and that's a pretty good one too. But yeah, that's about it.
How about some tallies?
Is it tally time, is it?
Yep.
Well, the tally I've got here for claw draw, I've got 4 claw draws. Is
I've
that
got 5.
Got 5?
Yes.
I must have missed one.
We got one when they cut out the ooze.
Yeah.
You got 2
okay,
when he was covered in scorpions. 3 when he stabs next to fake Cyclops.
Yep.
You got 4 when he cuts the door off to get to Cyclops.
Yep.
And you got 5 when Annalee's in his head.
Yeah, right.
At the
Okay,
end.
so I'll adjust that to 5.
So 5 plus the 11, we're now up to 16 claw draws. Episode 5, 16 claw draws.
Okay, for tally time, I've got 3 storm orgasms.
Yep.
2 Gene orgasms.
And a Gambit
and 1 Gambit orgasm.
And there was no bubs this episode.
No bubs this episode. No egg-sucking piece of gutter trash.
No. And no Beast quotes, because there was no Beast at all in this episode again.
No mention of Beast
No.
either, that's right.
We just saw him electrocuted at the start again in previous X-Men.
Well, until we get our season 1 and he's out of prison, I suspect that'll be the norm.
Yeah. Then there was there was the punching sound effect. That was the cool new one.
Yeah, I didn't really notice any, well, if we're going to nitpick in sound effects, I think I heard during the lightsaber fight there was a Star Wars sound effect in there.
Okay.
It just wasn't a lightsaber sound effect. I think
Yeah.
it was just a laser gun sound effect. So I'll have to go through and listen to Star Wars, and if I do find a pinch soundtrack, I'll put it in the edit. But yeah, no real on the nose sound effect swipes this time.
Keep your head, lady.
So how are you going to rate this episode?
Well, because I don't enjoy it, and I tried to look at it from like a critical point of view, and I think what they were trying to do, I think, is to be commended, trying to tell a sort of outcast story. But for me, I base these ratings on how much I liked it,
Yeah.
not how much it should be praised or critically reviewed. That's not what I'm about. So for me, this is barely touching a 4. I'd say I'd give it about I'll just say a 4 out of...
Yeah, I had a 4 as well.
4 out of 10 for this one, because this one has 0 rewatch value for me, unfortunately.
He's gone.
All right, that's it for Captive Farts. It's time for our social media shout out. Rate and subscribe to us on iTunes and Podbean. Also look for us on Podcast Addict and Pocket Casters. Like and share our page on Facebook at Generation X-Men. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Gen X-Men Pod for some behind the scenes photos and videos. Hopefully soon we'll be up on YouTube soon, so I'll link you that next episode. Or if you want to get in contact with us, you can contact us on Facebook, I am on the wall, or by email, generationxmenpodcast@gmail.com. And I should say you can fund us on Patreon.
That's the one.
Apparently I've been pronouncing it wrong for the first couple of episodes. But it's Patreon. You can support us on that.
Yeah, so make sure you're just spreading the word. Word of mouth's always good too.
Yeah. In fact, I want to thank for all the listeners that are listening to us. I'll get most of the listeners over Facebook on all the X-Men fan pages. So if I'm missing any fan pages that I'm not promoting on, just let us know as well, and we'll get them out there.
Yeah, rating and subscribing on iTunes helps us to stay visible in there as well.
Right, yeah.
That-
Write a
that's a good
review
point.
too. I think
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
to hear what everyone thinks about us. And
Yeah, punch in a 5-star review.
yeah, just give us the 5 stars.
You don't even have to write anything. You just put 5 stars if you want.
Excellent. Anyone who's got an iTunes account and has listened to us on iTunes, give us the 5 stars, and it'll definitely help our portfolio and public image. Okay, what's up for next week, Brooksy?
So next week, I think you'll be happy to know that we are doing episode 6, Cold Vengeance.
Ooh, I can't wait for this one. This is when it starts getting good.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to the video shop and renting this video a number of times because I didn't have it recorded off TV. And Cold Vengeance, this is Wolverine and Sabretooth going at it.
It
Right?
is.
Oh, this is a good episode, guys. I can't wait. This is going to be It's going to be a breath of fresh air after this Morlock episode. We're out in the open, out of the sewers, in the nice Arctic chill. So I'm looking forward to this one, Brooksy. This is going to be a good one.
It will be fun.
All right. Thanks much. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers. See you guys.
Bye.